Hello, what's going on everyone, and you're welcome to a brand new video. And what we're going to do on this particular one is to write our very first lines of a Python code. Okay, I recently installed a Python on my system, and I figured that it would be a very nice thing if I actually show you guys how to write your very first lines of code on Python. Okay, so I've never actually been writing projects in Python, but I want to actually start diving into that particular system. Okay, I want to get into that ecosystem, and I feel like it would be a very nice thing if I actually show you guys how I'm actually going to the process of actually learning that. So the process that I actually take to learn Python, and I feel like it's actually going to inspire you guys. In case of those of you who are actually interested in learning Python, you can actually learn that with me right now. So I'm going to just be learning, and then I'll come online to teach you guys what I have learned. I will try to make it as simple as possible, as long as I kind of learn it correctly. I'm going to have to come here and then teach you guys how to actually implement any lines of code that I actually learn. Okay, I will put a link to the first video on the description box, and that's just basically how to get Python downloaded and then installed. Okay, I also have PyCharm right here. This is the editor that is actually opened right here, and the video also contains how to download that of the PyCharm and install it, then connect it with that of the Python interpreter so that you can write your code correctly. Okay, so that's just what we did in that video. So if you want or you're interested in that, you can just check the comment section below to find the video on how to actually do that. Okay, so to write the first lines of a Python code, we're going to do that right now. So if we go to the menu bar right here, I want to go to this particular line that says Py. I'm in a new, and I'm going to go ahead and click on Python profile. And the reason that I'm using that Python profile is that when I write the file code, I don't have to add something like a .py extension in it. Okay, so let me just call this first code like that, and I don't have to put something like .py like this. Okay, that's what I chose earlier. That is a Python file. So we can just press enter. That particular file is actually going to be created. Okay, so to write your first line of code, let's say we want to print out something like hello world to the screen, you can just do print like that, and we can just put whatever that we want to put in here. So we can just say something like welcome to Codekindle Python development. Let's call that development series like that. Okay, so and we don't need to add something like a semicolon with Python right here. So this line alone is enough. It's okay. So if we save the changes right now and we want to take a look at that, we want to see whether it's actually going to execute this particular line of code and then print that out for us. All we need to do is to click on this run icon that we have in here, or you can just right click on your code like this, or your coding space like this, and you can select this one that says run first code. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. This is run first code, which is the file name that we have in here. So I'm going to click on that right now, and you see that if you take a look at our console right here, we say welcome to Codekindle Python development series, which is basically what we have on this particular place. You see how simple that is. So with this particular command called print, that's just what basically you can use to print out whatever message you want to print out on the screen for your users or for your application. Okay, it's really very simple to do, right? Pretty cool. Okay, so we also talked about going to use something like comment. Let's say for instance you want to comment this particular line of code out. You don't want the interpreter to kind of execute this line anymore. You can do let's just do that right here. I'm going to just put something like a hash sign right here, a number sign. If you just do that, it's going to render this particular line unexecutable. It's going to tell the interpreter to do not actually print this particular line. So if we save the changes right now, and then maybe we'll run it again, let me right click and then select run this, you're going to see that it's not actually going to print out that line anymore. And what that means is that we've commented out this particular line. So that's just how to make a single line comment in Python. And I think that Python does not actually have a multi-line comment, okay, except that there is a way that you can actually go about that. So if I take this away right now, and maybe down here, the way that they basically make their multi-line comment is they can just put something like maybe quotation sign is going to be 3. Okay, so let's just do this. I'm going to just do the first one, and this is the second one, and this is the third one. Okay, so within this particular thing right here, if you take a look at this very well, you see that we have 3 quotations to the left and also 3 quotation signs to the right here. So you can actually do whatever that you want to do within this particular place right here. If you say something like welcome to something like, let's say, London right here, okay, we are going to notice that whatever you have within this particular place actually turns into a comment. Okay, it turns into a comment. However, if you run this right now, it's going to treat whatever that we have in here right now as a comment. Okay, so you can even add some multiple lines of maybe characters in here. You can just say goodbye to coding. So everything that is actually located on this particular place is actually seen as a comment right now. Okay, it's a multi-line comment. If you save and run, you're going to notice that it's still not going to print out this particular line. okay, but it's going to print this one because we remove the number sign that we added here earlier, okay. And I'm going to actually show you something right now. So if I save this right now, and then we'll go ahead, let's right click on this again and then click on run, and you notice that the only thing that we have is welcome to CodeKinder Python development series, which is coming from this first line right here. So I have just mimicked multi-line comment with this. However, if we have something like a variable in here, which we haven't actually done yet, but we're going to basically do that at a later time. But if we have something like a variable right here, and we could just call this something like var, let's just call that var, which is basically a variable, okay, and is assigned to something in here. You're going to notice that this particular line will not actually be treated as a comment anymore, okay. And we're going to prove that. I'm going to just save it right now. And then if we come down right here, I'm going to just do something like print. And within this print, we can just go ahead and pass in this particular variable right here called var. So I'm going to just paste that right here. And if we save the changes, and then we'll right click on this right now, then run this again, you're going to notice that that particular line is no longer seen as a comment anymore. You see that? It's not actually seen as a comment anymore. You can actually use single quotes, okay. If you want to use single quote, is fine. So let's try to use something like single quote right here. So let's cut this and then try to put that down here. And if you save and then run, it's still going to give you the same result, guys. See that we still have the same result. So the point I'm trying to make right here is that if we had this, if this particular line of code is not actually assigned to any variable, it's going to treat it as a comment, okay. It's going to treat it as a multi-line comment. But if it is assigned to a variable, just like it is right now, it's not going to look at it as a comment. It's going to look at it as something like a string, okay. So that's just what I'm trying to get at, okay. So if we take this away and then we'll save that, and if we run this again, guys, you notice that that's a kind of a sorry about that, and this would have indentation is really very important right here, okay. So let's make sure we did indentation correctly, and we need to also take this away. I'm going to save that, and if we run the code again, let's run that. You see that it comes back, okay, and this is now being treated as a comment. So that's just basically what that is, guys. I don't want to bore you so much. We're going to actually stop here, and then the next one we're going to actually take this further. And if you like what you just learned in this video, and if you feel like you can actually do this very well, you can just put a comment in the, you can just say thank you, you can just say something positive on the comment section below. And if not, then thank you. I will still see you in the next one. So bye bye for now.